Patreon Q&A number 44. I want to thank all 70 of my amazing, incredible, generous patrons. Guys, thank you so much for continuing to support me through the good and through the bad. Also, to all the new patrons, I'm pretty sure I fixed the issue that I had on Patreon, so feel free to ask your question or questions in next week's Q&A thread. To everyone else, there's going to be some spoilers in these questions and answers, so tread carefully. Legandaryus asks, hey Shonen, my question is, do the heroes that are still in the Hero Association move up in rank when the people leave to join the Neo Heroes? Would the Hero Association move up some of the A-class to make up for the S-class shortage? I would not think so, since Saitama was shown to be A-class rank 38, which seems to imply that people don't. Also, would like to have you recap all left the Hero Association and what the new rank is for the heroes. Does this mean that Genos is top 10 of S-Class? Did he complete Saitama's first quest? So, this is a great question, and I'm glad you asked this because this is something that I feel needs to be talked about, and I totally forgot that this was a discussion. It's hard for me to talk about webcomic stuff, at least current webcomic stuff on the channel right now, because I can't really use webcomic content for context in my videos, but I'll try to be as good as I can with it in the future. But let's get into this. So, yeah, you assumed right. They're not going to be taking A-class heroes and just move them into the A-class. That would kind of be suicide, honestly. You need to, more so be proven to be an S-class hero, more so than the other rankings. A C-class hero can work their way up to B-class, and B-class can work their way up to A-class. But in order to become an S-class hero, besides just getting past a my mass, you need to literally be a superhero or have some kind of super crazy ability that is just beyond the A-class. And there's also doesn't seem to be some kind of quota for the amount of S-class heroes, considering that before Genos joined, there was just, 16 or however many there was. So they just kind of keep adding to the S-class heroes the more that show up to be worthy of that class. Like when Genos joined the S-Class, it was stated, I think, that he was the first one to join in 2 years. So it's pretty rare for an S-Class hero to come out of nowhere, and they're not going to be taking them just to fill the gap. It doesn't matter if there's one or 100 S-Class heroes, just as long as there are S-Class heroes, if that makes sense. So let's go over these rankings. I'm going to have them right here on the screen so it makes it easier. So, the heroes that we know so far to have been confirmed to leave the Hero Association for the Neo Heroes have been Metal Bat, Child Emperor, and Super Ally Darkshine. So, Darkshine isn't exactly being an active part of the Neo Heroes, at least from an offensive side. He chose to be a trainer, take a trainer role for the Neo Heroes, even though I'm sure we're going to see him in action later in the arc. I'm just stating that in case anyone was curious about that. And then, of course, we had that guy McCoy from the Hero Association doing the Neo Heroes, but that's not really prevalent to this, but I just want to put that out there. So we've got 3 S-Class heroes gone. There also is likely going to be more. It's heavily implied that more S-Class heroes have left. At least that's the way that I take it. So we've got them gone. But then we also have to remember that Bang has retired. So he is no longer in the S-Class rankings. So, with them gone, including Bang, the new rankings are going to look like this, and I'm just ranking them this way, in order of elimination. I'm just bumping everyone up. So, Blast number 1, Tatsumaki number 2, that's going to stay the same, of course. But then Atomic Samurai is going to be taking Bang's slot at number 3, Metal Knight's going to be going to 4, King is going to go to 5, at least I'm just assuming because, I'm just saying everything is going to move up. And it kind of defeats King's original purpose at number 7 to symbolize the lucky number, even though King was originally 6. But I think him being 7 was very important. So maybe they might just keep King at 7 and move everyone up around him possibly. But, like I said, I'm just taking a guess with what these current rankings could be. So King at 5, Zombie Man's going to go to 6, Drive Knight, at least in the webcomic, is still a part of the Hero Association. We don't know what's going to happen with him in light of, the whole G5 stuff. That hasn't really concluded yet. So he's going to be at 7. Then we've got Pig God going to 8. Watchdog Man will go to 9. Flashy Flash will go to 10. And then Genos will be at 11. So based off of my just guesstimated rankings, Genos is just on the cusp of becoming top 10 of the S-Class. And this actually might work out for what one has planned, because it might show that, like, Genos is almost there. He's almost accomplishing the goal that Saitama has put forth for him. And maybe by the end of this arc, or maybe by the middle of the arc, he'll achieve top 10 of the S-Class, considering this is the closest he's ever been. Then 12 would be Tank Top Master, and 13 would be Puri Puri Prisoner. So, yeah, pretty interesting. I just hope that they, or at least one, decides to go more into the Neo Hero stuff, because while the ninja stuff has been cool and all that, I'm just so excited to get into this Neo Hero stuff. I think that's way more interesting than the ninjas. Paxson D asks, hey Shonen, hope you've had a good week, man. Hey, thanks for asking, Paxson. I have. I've been putting in a lot of hard work, and I'm trying, my best to get this channel going to where I want it to be. So I've been having a lot of sleepless nights lately, but, it's a part of the game, I guess. But I hope you've had a good week too, my friend. In all other forms of media, do you think there is someone else that could defeat King? I'm not referring to blowing him up randomly like Zeno from Dragon Ball Super. I mean more of a confrontation. They meet each other, they exchange words, charisma points are compared, then it comes down to their supernatural abilities. If that's too much of a crossover thing, don't worry about answering. No, you know what? That's all good. I'm just more so uncomfortable answering, like, the big crossover battles like Saitama versus Goku or Goku versus whoever, stuff like that. That's really leads to the most controversy. But I think this should be okay. But I can't give, like, a concrete answer because, like I said, the controversy, I'm trying to mitigate the amount of hate that is going to come in the comments. And I don't even mean just towards me. I'm used to it, I'm not even saying big, but mid-level content creators and big-level content creators are used to getting hate in the comments. I mean, it doesn't make it easier, but I'm trying to mitigate the hate towards other people in the comments, because that's what really bothers me more so than anything, when, like, regulars on the channel just start getting hated on by just random haters and stuff like that. It's inevitable, but anyway, I'll stop rambling. The one person that comes to mind, or the one thing I should say that comes to mind that I think would have a good chance of taking down King would be Gold Experience Requiem from JoJo's Part 5. Like, his crazy, insane ability is something that I think could actually compete against King. So I'm not going to say who could win, even though I'm sure a lot of people in the comments are going to say Gold Requiem stomps no issue, and maybe that is the case. But I would just love to see what would happen if those two characters were to meet, I don't have an answer. I'd have to do, like, days of research, honestly, if I were to kind of come up with a concrete answer. And I would make a video about this subject, but again, I don't even think it's worth it with the war that it would start, honestly. But I think that's a cool matchup, and I think that if anyone would be able to compete with King, it is Gold Experience Requiem. If you're not familiar with this character, they actually just finally reached the anime, so just check it out on YouTube. One of the most epic moments in all of battle anime, in my opinion. Even though it's way overpowered, it's still pretty darn cool. Other than that, how have you been, man? Have you been playing any games lately? My GF got me into Final Fantasy Online, and it's pretty awesome. Are you more into MMOs, RPGs, shooters, fighting games? So I'm more so into, like, RPGs mostly. Not just, like, the traditional turn-based RPGs, like Pokemon, even though that is turn-based, but more open-ended RPGs like Pokemon. I'm really looking forward to Sword and Shield. I cannot wait for that to come out. I'm going to play the hell out of that game. But I'm more so into the RPGs, like Bethesda-type ones and stuff like that. Final Fantasy is cool, too, but I'm not really so into the MMO side of things, because MMOs and me don't work. Like, I treat YouTube like an MMO, so I can't put that energy into another thing like that, because I know that I could get sucked into that world pretty easily. But I also really like open world games. Those are what I like the most out of everything. Like, just give me an open world game and I'm fine with it. Like, I'll have fun. But it's like the shooters and the fighting games that I kind of just put on the back burner, but I still do enjoy them from time to time. Thanks again for all the work you're doing, man. Must be annoying not being able to use manga panels. I was wondering if you can explain why you can't, but I see other YouTubers do it all the time. Hell, some literally post whole chapters anyway, man. Always here to support. Keep up the good work. So it's not that I can't. We collectively, as content creators, are not allowed to use manga panels. Even though under the law, if we use it correctly, it does fall under fair use, regardless of what any companies want to say, even though they could litigiously annihilate all of us if they really wanted to. But it's more so that I don't want to use them because I've seen what happens. It's not worth it to me. And the reason why the other YouTubers are able to use them is because, one, they don't care. They're just taking the risk. Two, they might be under a MCN and have the region blocking ability, which is blocking Japan, even though that still is not 100% foolproof. The big studios can outsource to Americans or whoever else to, combat your channel that way. And number three, they just haven't been caught yet. There's a lot of people who are just going and doing this under the radar and just haven't been caught by the publishing companies yet. Like, there's thousands of channels that are doing this, so they can't really get after everyone, at the same time. But eventually, everyone will be found out. I kind of liken manga panels to, like, dealing drugs in real life. Like, you could do it, and you can make money from it, but there's a really good chance you're eventually going to get caught, and you're going to go down hard when you do. General Knox Fan asks, which gear would Luffy, start of Wano, need to use in order to beat or able to fight against either Deep Sea King, Carnage Kabuto, and Goketsu? Would any of these stand a chance in a 1v1, or would they all kick his butt? What do you think? So, yeah, start of Wano Luffy, pretty powerful. Easily the most significant he's ever been in the series, but, that's a given considering the progression of things. So, I think it's kind of hard to really gauge the speed of Luffy. I think most people would agree with me on that. Just to gauge the speed of overall all One Piece characters in general, other than Kizaru, the narration saying that he could move in a single direction, the speed of light, it's hard to grasp the actual speed of the other characters without being hyperbolic about it. So there's no concrete answer to that. And that's usually what it really comes down to when you're competing against characters like from One Punch Man and other series where we do have a good grasp of their speed. But then again, he does have insane observation haki right now, and that is definitely going to make up for any discrepancies in speed or reflexes that he has when encountering monsters like this. But all that being said, I think him going into Snake Man would probably be enough to take down somebody like Deep Sea King, regardless of if he's hydrated or not. His haki, his observation haki, armament haki and observation haki. I think he, along with his Snake Man, could take down Deep Sea King. But Carnage Kabuto and Goketsu, I don't think he's quite at that level yet. They seem to be more towards the Yonko level. And as we've seen, Luffy cannot compete against Yonkos, at least Kaido. I don't know how you guys take away his encounter with Big Mom in Whole Cake, but I think that wasn't really indicative of what would actually happen. So, is Luffy likely going to take down Kaido at the end of this arc? Yeah, it's very likely. So, at that point, maybe he will show that he is capable of taking down guys like Oketsu and Carnage Kabuto, but right now, I think Deep Sea King, and maybe a little stronger than Deep Sea King, is his current ceiling, at least in the One Punch Man world. Wolf Pup, the king of patrons, asks, I love you, Wolf. Pokemon Lives Matter, the sexy blizzard of hell, Fubuki versus Pikachu. What you think? So this is interesting. I think it's actually kind of competitive. So I'm going to be going off of what a Pikachu would possibly be in the wild. I think that's the best to compare him to, like, encountering a random monster in the world of One Punch Man. Because I know there's tons of stuff that a trained Pikachu could do. Don't get me wrong, I totally understand. But if we're just going off of, like, encountering, like, an aggressive Pikachu in the wild, like I said, similar to a monster in One Punch Man, I'm going to guess he's, like, Tiger level. I don't want to exactly put him at Wolf because I think his electric abilities are pretty significant, and they would equate to maybe a Tiger level guy. He's also pretty fast and agile, too. But all of that being said, I still think that Fubuki by herself could probably take down a wild Pikachu, given off of her Esper abilities. They are pretty powerful, and when she tries, like when she really tries and is going like outside of her comfort zone, she can achieve more than what is really expected of her. As we've seen. So I'm not talking about the Psychos thing. I'm talking more so like maybe even the Super S fight that she had. I mean, granted, she got completely wrecked by the Demon Fan, but we're just talking about Tiger level dudes here. So I think that she could take down a Pikachu if she really wanted to, but like mid difficulty possibly. I don't think we've seen her against too many Tigers as far as I know. If Thomas the Choo Choo Train ate a Monster Cell, what would he look like? And what would his disaster level be if he joined the Monster Association? Thanks a million. So I found a special picture just for you and just for this occasion. I think it's pretty accurate to what Thomas would look like if he were to eat a Monster Cell. Pretty creepy, pretty morose. But I think it's spot on. He would definitely grow appendages like this and look, very creepy like this. And I think it's very fitting for him, at least for the, the transformations that we've seen in One Punch Man. So his disaster level, I think it would be a solid demon. I mean, he's pretty big. I assume that he's probably going to be retaining the power that a train with the train engine and all that stuff would have. He'd probably be fast too. So maybe he would be like the I forget his name, the spider guy from the Numbers chapter. The guy that Spiderino, that's his name. He would be kind of like that, so like agile, really powerful, but like a demon. I don't think he would be more so like a dragon. But I'd love to hear like the kind of weird dialogue that he would have, because I don't even think he talks in Thomas the Train Engine. That show's kind of before my time, but I do know the memes and everything about it too. But he would have like a real sick kind of personality, because he would be like a complete 180 from being like this child-friendly anthropomorphic train to like this just psychopathic, unredeemable train demon monster, and especially the bloodlust they would have willingly joining the Monster Association for their cause. So that's pretty much it for the video. Once again, I want to thank all 70 of my patrons, guys. Thank you so much for continuing to stick by me. I hope that these Q&As are good enough for you, and I hope the Patreon is getting better. I'm working on it. Just let me know if there's any other things that you guys would like me to do to make it a better experience for you guys, because this is what it's about. You guys are helping me, so I want to do everything I can to help you. And if you would like to be a part of next week's Q&A, just simply check out my Patreon. The $5 tier will give you access to it. And if you haven't already, please subscribe as well. Have a great day. I'll see you in the next one.